Part two of the things that hotels do not want you to know is that they hike up prices in the evening, apparently, according to many, many clever people on social media, especially TikTok. The hotels hike up prices in the evening because they know that there is demand in the evening. Most people are looking for rooms in the evening. So what you should do is you should call in the morning, and that's where you've got a better chance of getting a better rate. I really wish I could say it was that simple, but the reality is that it's not. A hotel considers a number of things before they decide on their pricing. One of the key things that they look at is their location. Location is a critical factor for hotels, and it significantly affects the pricing for many reasons. One of the things that is considered in the pricing is the proximity to attractions. So, for example, hotels that are close to popular attractions such as Table Mountain in Cape Town, a hotel that is nearby Table Mountain will consider pricing a little bit more because of their appeal. Table Mountain is undoubtedly one of the most iconic landmarks in South Africa. It offers breathtaking views of Cape Town and obviously the surrounding Cape Town. So any hotel that is nearby Table Mountain will be justified to look at their pricing and add a little bit more than any other hotel that doesn't have a popular attraction nearby. The same would apply for any hotel that is located nearby the Drakensberg Mountains. The Drakensberg Mountains are in KwaZulu-Natal. The mountains are a World Heritage Site and a well-known hiker's paradise. They offer stunning landscapes and waterfalls and trails and all sorts of outdoor adventures. It's a region that's also known for its rich Zulu culture and history. So once again, if a hotel was charging a little bit more because they were close to the Drakensberg Mountain, it would be justified. There is beauty to enjoy, there is an appeal, and it's something that you can boast about as opposed to being in a hotel that has no attractions nearby or anything that creates additional appeal. It's a value add that's worth paying a little bit more for. Of course, there are other factors that impact pricing. Accessibility is one of them. So hotels that are nearby transportation hubs like airports and train stations or major highways would consider pricing a little bit more for the convenience, safety, and the neighborhood. A safe and desirable neighborhood can significantly impact the hotel pricing. Also, demand and seasonality. So high demand periods such as holidays or peak travel seasons will impact pricing. And also competition. So is a hotel in a competitive area where there's competitive hotel markets nearby? Hotels may adjust their pricing based on what others are also charging. This is something that also does happen. There's also, of course, the local economy. So what state is the local economy in? If it's a strong local economy, it can lead to higher hotel rates as travelers have more spending power. And this is something that is considered alongside seasonal factors, weather and climate, and just maybe operational costs. Hotels have to consider the operational cost in their pricing. It is a fact. It is not a top secret. So simply just saying calling in the morning gives you better chances of good rates as opposed to the evening because hotels hike up their prices because there's so much demand. So don't go in the evening. You'll get ripped off or you'll get a high rate is a little bit narrow-minded because clearly there's a high level thinking when it comes to pricing. There's so many things that are considered by hotels. It is something that I would also argue that it is probably the other way around. The reason why I say this is because hotels always concern themselves about bums on beds. There's a term called bums on beds in the hotel business. It's a well-known term. And a room that is not sold where there's no bum in the bed is revenue lost. So if you were to come in the evening, especially late in the evening and walk in, you most likely have a better chance of a hotel being flexible to give you a rate below their prime because they're seeing that it's close to close of business and they just want a bum in the bed. So they will be more willing and negotiable in terms of rate and give you slightly lesser rate than the normal rate. Whereas in the morning, there is still a whole day of trade. There's still so many things to be considered. Once again, location, the type of hotel, seasonality comes into play. But my argument would be going on and saying the morning is better. Most likely the evening is where you've got a better chance, because if a hotel has some rooms to sell, they're seeing that they are close to end of day and there is no anticipated demand, they may be more flexible to give you a better rate. So a summary takeaway as far as pricing is concerned when it comes to hotels is that there's no one science mastermind trick. There's a lot of things that hotels consider. It's not about hiking the rates and just doing things off the cuff. Yes, of course, there is a supply and demand factor that is applied, but it is most often looked at well in advance. It's a systematic way of pricing and it's thought through. It's not about just catching customers when you can and spike the prices just for the sake of it. Apparently, the other thing that you need to know that hotels do not want you to know is that they do not wash the glass cups in the bathrooms. They just spray them with chemicals and wipe them. How irresponsible is that comment? I don't know which hotels these people go to, but the hotels that I've worked in over the last 2 decades and the hotels that I know of, even if I haven't worked in them, I've stayed in them, I know people who work in them, I know exactly what happens, and you do not find people spraying the glass cups with chemicals and wiping them. Housekeepers do not do that. Some people must go to really, really dodgy places, and they've unfortunately confused them with real hotels. Real hotels, good hotels, responsible hotels do not do that. Glass cups are washed, linen is changed, hygiene, cleanliness is of the utmost importance and it is taken very seriously. There's audits, there's cleanliness audits, there's hygiene audits. There is just so many inspections. For example, a hotel room in a real hotel, there is a room attendant or a housekeeper that goes into a room, and then there is a supervisor who goes and checks after that room attendant. And then you'll find that there is 1 or 2 other senior personnel that go in and check after those first 2 people. So there is a process of checking because it's taken very seriously from a quality perspective, from a cleanliness perspective. Hotel housekeepers don't spray chemicals on glass cups and then they put them back. So be very careful if you come across such content, so-called content. Things like that happen maybe in the movies or in places that people misconstrue for hotels, but in proper hotels that doesn't happen. There is this one thing that hotels really do not want you to know, and I know this one to be true. Hotels will not want you to ever know about any of their guests staying in the hotel's information. Information of any guest in the hotel, staying in the hotel, is top secret, and if you're on some secret mission investigation and you are planning on sticking up on the hotel to try and get them to give you information about one of their guests staying in the hotel, and you are not an authorized person to be given this information, forget it. It's not going to happen. Guest information is top secret in hotels, and the only time that a hotel will be compelled or would be compelled to give out information or allow access to a guest that's staying in a hotel is upon a law enforcement or court subpoena. So there you have it. I hope I have helped you out with just clarifying some of the ridiculous things that are out there about what hotels don't want you to know and why they don't want you to know these things. It sort of like paints a picture that hotels are a little bit shady, hotels are a little bit dodgy. They don't want you to know this because they're trying to hike the prices and catch you. They don't want you to know that because, hotels are always involved in some shady things when people die. It's just nonsense. So in case you're wondering what's with the rant, why is he going on about all of these things, just do yourself a favor, go on TikTok and type what hotels don't want you to know. Listen to the top 5 videos and all of these energetic content creators about the things that hotels are hiding from you and things that hotels don't want you to know. Maybe you'll get an understanding on where I'm coming from. I just had to clarify some of the things that may be misleading, which could be damaging to the hotel industry. So there you have it. I am always around to make sure that you live your best hotel life by just making sure I clarify misconceptions, give you some tips and tricks on how to live your best hotel life.